All right, everybody, we're back with episode 10 of Shoot the J. Of course, I always have Tyrone Fingers Jackson here with us, Don Jackson as usual. And as we always start off, what are you drinking?
I'll start off with a little green tea, compliments of Yoda.
Don?
And a little OJ, compliments of trying to beat a cold.
Gotcha. And I'm pulling up the rear with a little ginger ale and lemonade. So it's a work day for me tomorrow, so I can't go a little too nuts today. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
So let's get right into it. Our first topic of the day, I know there was a major combat event this weekend with Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fighting, okay, which they're already saying is breaking like all the records, even surpassing Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather numbers, what it's doing right now.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to do the final tally sometime this week. But the pre-sales have already beaten McGregor and Mayweather. But everybody's probably talking about that. I want to talk about the undercard. Jake Paul and Nate Robinson on the undercard. This is a bit of a spectacle, but just give me your thoughts on what y'all saw last night, and just give me your thoughts on that.
Don, you want to go? You go, Don.
I felt bad for Nate because this is one of those times where you would never want to think he would be outclassed in an athletic kind of sport. But when you talk about boxing, it's a different set of muscles and, skills. And so you can't just transform a basketball player into a boxer. Jake looked far more polished than Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, Nate was going forward and caught some vicious right hands from Jake Paul. So, I don't want to be down on Nate too hard. He took a chance going in the ring, but he needed a lot more work before stepping in there.
Right. Tyrone?
My take on it is this. You have to determine what kind of fighter you're going to be before you get into that ring, before you even start training. All right, so are you going to be that athletic guy, the fast, quick guy, athletic guy? If you're that guy, then you don't need to throw a punch and rush in. He was fighting like Klitschko, jab and grab. He'd run in, jab. Man, you're not good enough to do that. Now, you can get on your skates, you can get on your bicycle, punch in and out and get out if you're going to determine to be that. Because if you think you can get on the inside on a bigger man who may not have the speed that you have, but has experience as well, you got to stay away from him the whole time. And he did not do that. He circled to his strong hand, he put himself in the line of fire every time he jumped in there. And when you go to lean forward like that and a guy throws a hook, yeah, he's going to hit you in the back of the head or on the ear or whatever. You shouldn't even be in there. Jab, get out. Jab, get out. You got what? That was a 6-round fight?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You're a superior athlete. You can jog for that, bro. That's my thing. And you go ahead.
No, I see what I kind of see what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to overwhelm Paul with his athletic ability because when the bell rang, he rushed him. And it did surprise Jake Paul to begin with because he clinched up and backed up. And when the ref separated him, he did it again. He wasn't prepared for the speed that Robinson was moving in. So I kind of see what he was trying to do to jump on it. But as y'all said, you go in there with somebody who's got more skills than you, and you don't really know what type of fighter you're going to be or who you are, what you're going to do. When you rush in as a smaller man, you got to be prepared to take some shots. I mean, and he was just, as you said, circling to the wrong hand, to the strong hand, and just came chin up, running straight line attacks on the guy, So, I mean, how would you –
It's not like you're going to –
Right.
It's not like you're going to run and slam on the center, you know what I'm saying? And then fly down the back of the center after you slam catch him. No, There ain't no 5 fouls in boxing. You get hit. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go, boom, I surprised you, I slammed on you. No. You run in there with your head up, you getting caught.
Well, that's
sometimes. And I think Snoop said it, which was weird.
Right.
Snoop said, hey, man, you can't keep doing the same thing. You got to change it up. Go ahead,
well, I think sometimes, as an athlete, you can have that false bravado and think it translates to everything that you're going to embark upon. And it just doesn't work like that. I don't know who he had in his corner giving him advice or training him, but he really needed a strong corner to get his mind right. Like you said, Ty, determine way ahead of time what kind of boxer he's going to be. And it seems like a classic case of underestimating his opponent. You might have thought this guy was just a video blogger or YouTube blogger or Instagram person, whatever he was, but you didn't know the work the dude was doing behind the scenes. And that's where I blame his kind of, arrogance a little bit, and whatever his camp was. Camp should have had a little film on him too, so that he could prepare Nate for what was about to happen. And, I think as a result of this, we're going to see a lot of other NBA players want to avenge Nate and fight this cat, Jake Paul. So I saw a little bit of that on the internet.
Yeah, I saw Evan Turner's already challenged Jake Paul, which he does some boxing, and David West is supposed to be a very good boxer as well. So, a lot of NBA community were rooting for Nate. I'm going to stay on it just for 1 second. Tyrone, let me ask you your opinion, okay? Because Nate Robinson is basically around the same height as you, and Jake Paul is about the same height as Don, around 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there, okay? How do you prepare? But let's say you don't box. Maybe you got in a few scraps or so. How do you prepare? You have like 2 to 3 months to prepare. What do you do to prepare for this fight?
Okay, so my opponent is taller.
And also, he's 13 years younger than you are, too. He's 23, you're 36. So that factors in as well.
Jake Paul is 20-something years old?
23.
23, okay. All right. So if a person is taller than me, which I've been fighting with y'all all my life, you can't stay in the pocket in the kill zone. Now, I'm wider than Nate, so I want to get on the inside. But I'll take a page out of your book, Dave. Whenever you fought Don, we didn't have a ring. So you'd hit him, pop shot him, fake him, hit him, and run around the whole time. And Don was like, man, come on, let's fight. And you're like, hey, man, I am fighting. You're like, nah, bro, you're not engaging, And so at the end of the day, the judge is going to say, hey, Dave won the fight. And Don's going to be like, bro, you never engage with me. That's how Nate Robinson had to fight. He had to do the Floyd Mayweather. He had to go in there, get out of there, and make it look like, oh, man, I can't believe we paid all this money for this. But you come out with not having memes made about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You might.
Pernell Whitaker, man, jump on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let me just say this before we go on. I gotta say, Snoop Dogg was the real hero of the night. Okay, across all the boxing matches, him singing hymns when Nate Robinson got knocked out was hilarious. He did a 4-song set before that too, and then he commented on the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight. I'm like, I feel like Snoop got to be the commentator for all the boxing from now on. It's gonna feel wrong without Snoop commentating on all the boxing.
I love the way the staging. I love the way the setup was. It was crisp. It was clear. They didn't have to have audience people in it. So they made it look like a real set. I mean, it was cold. Yeah. HD all the way. It wasn't grainy. None of that kind of stuff. I mean, it was very, very well put together.
Very, very nice. The production value was excellent on that show.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Saints, guys. The Saints have just finished playing the game. They beat Denver 31-3. They say Drew Brees has 11 broken ribs, 8 on one side, 3 on the other. And he might be back, and a collapsed lung, and he might be back in week 14, okay? How do the Saints survive during that time, or can they survive? They're 8-2. How can they survive during that time? I'm going to let Don go ahead first.
Well, I think, this has always been Sean Payton's strong point, in my opinion, when he doesn't have as many pieces and as many weapons to rally around. And he actually just keeps the game plan basic, methodical, runs the power runs, the sweeps, the stuff that we know we have the offensive linemen to be gritty and strong against their defense. And if you continue to play smash mouth football and control the time of possession, you're going to win those gritty, tough games. We have Atlanta coming up. I know they want revenge, especially the way we beat them that first time. Again, you got to continue to run that ball, catch them slipping, play good defense, and we'll do fine until Brees comes back. My biggest issue is if we continue to win out, of course we're going to get that number one seed. I don't want us to get so bought into our own hype that we forget about the little things that we have to do in order to win those playoff games. Because we've seen it now for the last 2 years or 3 years where we get down to that last dance and we lose by a small error or a small margin. So we don't need that to happen. We need to learn from our mistakes in the past. Seems like our defense is peaking at the right time. Now we have to, use our offensive weapons in a way that, secures us the bag going down the line.
All right.
I agree. My first thought about this is this. You know how I feel about genius coaches, right?
Genius coaches.
Okay. The baddest man on the planet in the 70s and early 80s, I guess, was Bruce Lee. We know that Bruce Lee could beat up a lot of people, right? But every now and then you see Bruce Lee pull on some nunchucks on some people. Or he kicks a guy in the proclivities. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Does he have to do that? No, you got to utilize whatever weapon you have. Now, we know that Bruce Lee can beat up all 20 of them guys without a weapon. But if he has a weapon, he uses it and beat the crap out of people, right?
Right.
That's how I feel about the Saints. You got these weapons. You got running. You got time of possession on your hand. That allows your defense to rest, man. You get Drew Brees coming in, Drew Brees going there and throws a touchdown in a minute and 34 seconds. Your defense is back on the field again. And that's what happens against a team like Minnesota that's going to have possession. Their defense is going to be on the field to hold you and contain you or get Drew Brees off there in three downs. And then all of a sudden they just pound you to death in the time of possession. You look at the clock and say, man, we need to score. My fear is that when Drew Brees comes back, Sean Payton says, now we can open up the playbook. And I'm like, use the weapons that you can to overpower these guys. You got great weapons. Use them.
Those are all really good points, especially with Don saying about simplifying the game, because you don't have your full complement and just beat them with basic football, My thing is, I think now that Taysom Hill has got under center and is more comfortable passing, when you bring him in the game now, when Drew Brees is back, you can open the Wildcat up a little bit more. Not the basic offense, right? Not go to triple reverse to the whatever, right? But when he's in a Wildcat, but now he can truly be a passing threat now, that he won't just run it when you pair him back with Taysom Hill. And as you said, not to just go straight in with Drew Brees and now let's just open it all up and go crazy again. He's going to have to get his timing together. He's got to, as you notice also when you come back from something traumatic or injury, you got to take a hit to see what you feel like. So you're going to flinch when a guy, goes in. He's got to take those hits. So he's got to be eased back into the game. So my thing is like Taysom Hill in the last 2 games has shown himself as a competent backup. I can't even say right now he's the quarterback of the future, but I can say he's a competent backup who can hold possession, like y'all say, the time possession, hold the other team at bay and make enough plays to win. Not blow the game out, but make enough plays to win. But my thing is when he comes back, use him a little more when Drew Brees comes back to kind of ease Brees in and not just phase Taysom Hill all the way out. You know what I mean? So I think there's no one that the Saints are really chasing. Everybody's chasing the Saints right now in the NFC at 8-2. So you do have a bit of a cushion.
Well, just so y'all know, we have Falcons, then Eagles, then Chiefs, then Vikings, then Panthers. So, you got 2 games where, all right, you can run this kind of offense, I think, successfully against. Then you have Chiefs that's going to open up the playbook. I'm not really super confident in the Chiefs defense because they will allow people to score on them. Then you have the Vikings, who always seem to be a bad matchup for us for whatever reason. The Vikings and the Saints just don't match up well for us. and then you have the Panthers. So I don't know if I want to even bring Brees back versus the Chiefs. I mean, do you think that's the game to bring? I mean, unless you really need that win. I mean, do you want to take a chance with him getting hit in that game? I mean, when do you bring him back? That's the question. Because you got Falcons, Eagles, Chiefs. So
I mean,
was able to be starting what in 4 weeks? That would put him what against the Chiefs, right?
yeah, I don't think the Chiefs is the game. To be honest with you, I think Taysom Hill is the player that's tailor made to beat the Chiefs. They don't have a great defense, and he's going to do ball control on, which will keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. If you let's say Brees is back and he's 100% healthy, that shotgun shootout is going to work in Patrick Mahomes' favor for him getting more possessions. I actually think Taysom Hill to run ball control and keep him on the bench is a better matchup with us against the Chiefs. Not saying he's a better football player than Drew Brees, but I think this is like we talked to Styles. I think that's a better matchup to play Taysom Hill.
I think the Chiefs are just the team that Drew Brees needs to start against.
Okay.
They don't have a really significant pass rush. So you can have him in there, throw in more Taysom Hill gadget plays. The thing we got to realize is that the offensive line is a living, breathing unit. So you have rhythm with whoever's your quarterback and whoever's blocking all the plays. When you put another person behind center, that rhythm changes. That rhythm, that organic unit, how it moves, changes. And going forward for an offensive lineman that's 300-something pounds going against a 285-pound defensive lineman is really where they want to be. They really want to push. But then when you get in pass protection, you're going backwards.
Right.
That's not really what you want to do, especially if you have a rhythm of going forward and a rhythm of doing these things. So I would say work Drew Brees and like you did Taysom Hill. Put him in a couple of plays, put him in a couple of sequences. Give Taysom Hill the bulk of the load, but it would be a good chance for you to see where you match up against the defending Super Bowl champions with Drew Brees in there. And also, you might not lose anything because you might have the NFC sewn up by then. If Green Bay loses again, you might be able to get a chance to wrap it up.
Okay, guys, that sounds good. Let me add our guest in. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
We got Nelson Craven straight out of Mallet here with us today.
Straight out of Mallet.
Louisiana. Well, it's good. Where are you calling from? You in Lake Charles, Uncle Nelson?
Sunset.
Sunset.
Living in Sunset now, right outside of Lafayette.
Got it.
Okay.
And what are you drinking right now?
Oh, some H2O. Ozarka special.
Very good. Very good. Before we begin, I would love for you to tell us a story about you being the #1 draft pick back in the day.
Of the New York Jets.
That's right.
Number 44.
Talk to my brothers about your time with the draft with the Jets.
Oh, it was an experience, man. It was an experience. Went up to the in Virginia to the Meadowlands. Happened to be out there with an MSU shirt,
Uh-huh.
It was McNeese State University.
All right.
So I'm unpacking the suitcase. Old guy come around. He say, MSU. He say, where's that? I say, well, you probably never heard of McNeese. I say, well, that's Mississippi State. He said, oh, Mississippi State. Oh, y'all had a good football team. Y'all beat LSU. I said, yeah, we sure did. Brings you up this way. I said, well, I'm the #1 draft pick of the New York Jets. So I'm here to sign my contract. Well, needless to say, man, we was the talk of the town for the rest of the weekend. They won, signed us and everything. Me and my friend he was my agent, So it was up.
But you didn't actually play football, though, did you, though?
Well, a couple of nights I did, yeah. once in Houston and once in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but
I was even a member of the Lakers for one night.
you act like you remember the Lakers too one night too?
One night in Houston at a club called Faces.
Okay.
We went out there. We left Lake Charles, went to the Rockets and the Lakers. It was Magic Johnson and Wood and all of them. And so we went to, after the game, we went to this nightclub, Faces.
Mm-hmm.
And so happened that's where all the players went. Some of the Rockets and about all the Lakers, Magic Johnson, all of them up in there. So anyway, they come up to me. I was leaning mean back then, you know. You know, I was a strange face, and they didn't know me. You with the Lakers? I said, yes, I am. Why not?
You're known as a basketball man. Everybody tells me that you could really play that. You were a big man with outside game. You know, could handle the ball. We're about to talk about the Houston Rockets. Tell me, what do you think they should do with that team? James Harden says he wants to be out of the team. How do you win with James Harden? If you're coaching a team, how do you win with that team?
You're not going to win. I mean, you're going to win some games, but you're not going to win no championship. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll have to bring some other people in. Supposed to be getting rid of James and Westbrook, huh?
That's what
James
they said.
talking about he want to go to the Nets or Philadelphia.
Do you see that working out with Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden on the same team?
No, they ain't gonna win nothing either. Not enough ball. They'll need about 2 more extra balls.
Gotcha. Don, what do you think about Harden and his saying that he turned down a $50 million extension per year? I guess to force his way out of Rockets. What do you think about that?
I kind of agree with Uncle Nelson in the fact that, you know, where will he go and how will Houston recoup the money that they would have to match up with, and what kind of trade and you know, what kind of height do they have right now? It really needs some big men. If you look at the West has now become a big men factory at the way that they are stacking the deck in the playoffs and in their regular season. So everybody's trying to get like 3 or 4 centers in their lineup. You know, they have Tyson Chandler, but he's 38 years old. You got Robert Covington, he's 6'7". They got this Caboclo. He's a small forward. He's 6'9". But after that, who do you have that can match up with centers in the West? That's going to be your problem. So I don't know where James Harden wants to go, but I think Houston needs to make trades with people who are big to help them kind of stack the deck like the Lakers have on in the West.
And I think Covington has been traded away. Covington is no longer on the Rockets, I think. Yeah, he's Portland.
He's going to Portland. Oh, wow.
Yeah. My take on the Houston Rockets is this. It's really not the Houston Rockets and James Harden as much as it is, what do you do in the wake of Mike D'Antoni, who has left every job he has decimated? New York Knicks hasn't come back. Phoenix Suns, my beloved Phoenix Suns, might be making a turn right now. Lakers, when D'Antoni was with the Lakers, it took them a while to recover. He decimates every squad because he gets point guard heavy, no passing, all offense, and then you leave yourself, when he leaves, you leave with a team that doesn't have any kind of identity at all. You trade away Capella, you don't have a big man, you go small ball. What do you do with that the next year? And then Harden doesn't want to be there with a rebuilding year. Well, what do you want him to do? No coaches want to take on that task. Even the coach that was with you decided to leave. He doesn't even have a job right now. But that says something when Mike D'Antoni says, nah, I'm not going to sign up for another year or 2 years. I'll just take my chances out there in NBA land. But Mike D'Antoni has been down this road before, and all of his squads have been decimated after the fact, and it takes a long time to rebuild. And so I think James Harden would play a better role coming off the bench like he did with OKC, but he's never going to relinquish that. And you're not going to be the Golden State Warriors because you play small ball, but you're not passing the ball like the Golden State Warriors.
Mhm.
You're not going to overpower teams like LeBron because you're not passing the ball like LeBron and making the game simple.
Go ahead, Uncle Nelson. I hear you down there.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Tyrone there. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah. And then the Lakers just added, who they added? Montrezl Harrell and Big Gasol.
Yeah,
Right.
Marc Gasol.
Big man. Marc Gasol.
And I heard that they're trying to do another trade too. I heard that the Lakers are trying to exchange Kuzma for John Collins from Atlanta, who's a very athletic guy who can be on the boards. You don't have to throw the ball into him or anything like that. So they're trying to pursue that and trying to get somebody else. So they got a squad with what's your boy from OKC?
Schroeder.
Yeah, Schroeder.
Yeah.
You can play.
Dennis Schroeder, yeah.
Now, let me ask this question. Do you trade James Harden for Ben Simmons? Can you do that straight up? Is Ben Simmons a guy on a rise who's like of Harden's caliber? Or do you say, I'll take Simmons in a draft pick, a couple draft picks, something like that? Do you make that trade?
Who that, me?
Oh, yeah, you that. Yep.
I wouldn't fool with Harden myself personally. I mean, he got to have the ball too much.
Yeah.
I would try to work something out with Simmons, and like you say, a draft pick, and maybe try to get Simmons to put the ball up, create some offense. But not as much as James,
Create too much
You don't
offense.
need to shoot 50 times a game.
Yeah. Who wants to play that way? One guy is shooting about 50 shots, slowing the game down, going to the free throw. I mean, how do you work hard and play defense with a guy like that where he's touching the ball and you rarely touch it,
Yeah.
But you also look at personalities too, like Joel Embiid and Harden. Can they exist on the same team together? They're two type A personalities, and Embiid wants to dominate the game, which he should. He's just always have little nagging injuries and stuff like that. But Harden wants to dominate the game.
Too.
Yeah.
And he's wanting to shoot 3-pointers.
That's a problem, right? That's a problem too, right?
Yeah.
And if they're trying to make the Brooklyn thing work, but if you do trade him for Brooklyn doesn't have enough draft picks. Number one, and two, you have to trade the guts of the team, which that guy Karis LeVert really impressed me during the bubble. Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, all those guys got to go to even make that work. So you basically have Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, and the most durable of those three really is Harden, and he doesn't defense. And then you just got Joe Harris and a couple G League players after that. I just don't see that working.
No, I don't see that working either. They'd be better. I mean, to me personally, I don't know if Harden can go anywhere really where he's going to really improve the team. If playing like he played,
Right. Let me ask this question. Would you take the ball out of his hands and make him a shooting guard or post him a little bit more or something? Because he does have a pretty good post game. Or would you take the ball out of his hands?
That's probably, that's what needs to be done. I mean, he just controlling the ball too much. The whole game is just all around him. Yeah, just make him shoot it. Now, he can shoot it. I'll give him that. He can shoot it. But you don't have to dribble it the whole doggone while,
Exactly. Good dribbler. Did you happen to catch any of the fights this weekend with your boy Mike Tyson and Roy Jones?
No, man, I forgot about it.
They supposedly broke all the records. They broke like Mayweather, Conor McGregor, and Pacquiao record for pay-per-view.
Oh, man, on pay-per-view?
Yes.
Good Lord. I don't know why that was just an exhibition. That wasn't no real fight,
It's still Mike Tyson, though.
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess he'll fight again then. Now, what about Dave Spence and Mikey Garcia?
Ooh, that's
Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia.
Danny, you're right.
Yeah, that I'm curious to see what Spence has left after the car accident. They say he's in really good shape. And Danny Garcia is not a crumb kick. That's a heck of a guy to step in there with your first fight back. A lefty who's a good counterpuncher. That's a much. So I mean, I have my money on Spence, so because I think he's a more talented fighter, but that's a heck of a test to go in there, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I saw a picture of Spence, and he looks like a true welterweight. He doesn't look like a middleweight that has lost some weight to be in the fight. He's cut. He's been off of alcohol, as far as what his camp says, and his trainer said he's been the most focused he's ever seen him focus. Well, in training camp, when I saw his body type, I'd never seen him that slender before, but cut. I mean, he had muscles popping out everywhere, but he had, looked like he has the fast twitch muscle happening more than just the strength, which speed can equate to power too. It's interesting if he decides to stay in a pocket with somebody who has timing. It could be interesting, but I think that Spence looks the best I've ever seen him look, and seeing some of the sessions where he's doing some stuff.
Don?
First, let me jump back on the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight. And Roy Jones was holding so bad, it was like a bad offensive line for your weakest NFL team. I just
a flag on him, huh?
He needed a flag every round. I mean, it's crazy. There's no way that's a draw. Tyson was killing him with the body blows. From what I saw, Roy Jones was hanging on for dear life. After the fight, when they interviewed him, Roy Jones was like, "I'm so happy to get out of here." He didn't say that, but that's how he felt. But that's what it looked like. He was so happy to be done with that fight. He said everything Tyson touched would hurt. Now, when Jones and Spence and Garcia, I think Spence has to be careful because Danny Garcia is hungry, especially after he fight to Kenneth Thurman. It kind of set him back. He had to come back and win several bouts to start getting his standing up. He is a dangerous counterpuncher. We know that Spence has quick offensive hands. So this could be a nice matchup. Really could be a nice matchup.
So it looks like Tyson, based on the pay-per-view, I'm looking at it right now, that he made $7 million for the fight, and Roy Jones $7 million as well. And I'm gonna go around a round table. Uncle Nelson, they give you $7 million. They give you 3 months to get in shape to fight Mike Tyson. $7 million. What you got?
I'm gonna have to fight him. I'm gonna have to do like Rocky, get in shape and fight him. $7 million. I can do like Roy. I can grab it and hold him, I guess.
What if he bites you though?
Oh Lord. I have to fight him back, I guess.
Don, you got $7 million. You getting in there with him?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm going in. I don't know how I'm coming out, but I am going in.
Tyrone, $7 million.
I am not. I'm going to go on Donald's training staff and get paid $50,000
to train Don to fight him.
To help be with Don. I'll be his sparring partner and stuff like that. I might not even go in the ring with Don. I might just $50,000 as a valet or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, you got to come in.
No.
Don say
I play the piano, bro.
You can be outside the ropes. You know what I mean? I wouldn't let you come in there. I don't want your hands to get hurt.
I don't want my wife to just be enjoying the $7 million while I'm a quadriplegic up in there. I don't think that's fair.
But they're gonna enjoy it too. They're gonna enjoy the money while you're in the hospital. They will enjoy it.
It's called Take a Dive, gentlemen. It's called Take a Dive.
Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining today. We're glad we got you in, Uncle Nelson, all the way in from Sunset.
I enjoyed it, man. That's my first time on Zoom.
Okay.
There we go. Hopefully it won't be your last time, too.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta find out again when I met you for my first time meeting you was on your birthday. So I gotta remember to put you in my calendar when your birthday is, so I can hook you up with another Crown Royal again, like we did the first time.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Speaking of which, my brother Don gave me a Crown Royal apple which I'm going to be willing to try out next time for Shooting the J.
Don gave you a Crown Royal album?
For my birthday.
Wow, okay, that's nice. He took care of me too on my birthday. It wasn't a Crown Royal, but it's very nice. Very nice.
Hey.
Well, gentlemen, thanks again for joining us. We'll be back on next week with Shoot the J. Look for us on Facebook and on YouTube, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all so much.
Later.
We're out. Take care, fellas.
All right, later.